A motion by Helmut.
Welcome to Minutes by Minute. I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Dave Kenny.
And we're here to talk about what goes on in the village, the township, you know, those government people that make laws and regulations that affect you out there.
That's right, Elgin. And whether you live in the village of Oxford, the village of Leonard, Oxford Township, or Addison Township, these are the people that you went and elected, and the commissions and the committees that make decisions that directly affect you, whether you chose to go to that meeting or not. And the result can be a taxing
Situation. Very much so.
yes, indeed.
And if you don't attend, as David says, there could be things going on, you know, under the current that you're going to wish you knew about. Well, what we do is we actually provide an abbreviated version. of what
That's right.
Those meetings.
The
are.
Reader's Digest version.
Yes. What might take an hour and a half, 2 hours normally sitting in a meeting, we do it in what? 15, 20 minutes. don't
That's
we?
right. That's right.
In a couple of meetings that we want to talk about, by the way, is the Village of Oxford Downtown Development Authority had a meeting, and it was held on February 18th, and the other one is Pollyann Trail Management Council, which just met yesterday, February 20th. So we got lots of things to talk about, but one thing I do want to talk about, and that is one of us spreads rumors. So pay attention out there. Okay. All right. Well, let's get on with it, shall we?
Shall we?
All right. First meeting, Village of Oxford Downtown Development Authority, and excuse me, Pledge of Allegiance, of course. Roll call taken was Nicole Ellsworth, serves on this board, Dorothy Johnston, Pete Schultz, who is the chairperson, Sue Oles, who is absent at this particular meeting, Elgin Nichols, this guy, and Rod Charles, Joe Frost, which he was also absent at the time. Must have had an engagement with the county or something, huh?
Okay.
And
He's
Michelle
the executive
Klein.
director, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, no, he's
No,
not.
he isn't.
He used to be
Oh,
at
okay.
one time,
Okay.
but he's been replaced by Glenn Pate.
Pete.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep track of all these guys.
It is,
They
and
shift around.
I keep it turning all the time, so
I
you just
see.
don't know who's who, right?
Like a fine brew.
Did you notice that?
Yeah, I noticed
Okay, all right. Public comment on non-agenda items. Nobody. All looked at their shoes.
Yep.
All shiny shoes. Consent agenda. Approval of the proposed agenda. Approval of January 21st, 2019 regular meeting minutes and reports, such as the police report. By the way, you know what's going on with the police. Very interesting stuff.
No, what's going on with
It's
the police?
confidential. You know, I can't tell you.
Oh, you baited me right into that.
I did, yes. The code enforcement, of course, report, DPW report, Department of Public Works, and they've been busy, by the way, with the snow lately and clearing the ice and everything,
Yeah.
right?
All we had was cold up to now, and now we get snow.
Yeah. Well, Don Brantley, who's the director of DPW, he does a great job and with the staff that he has. I just want to say, if you see Don Brantley out there, be sure to tell him thank you for the hard work that those guys do, keep the roads clear, and also the sidewalks.
Not an easy job.
Right. Executive Director report was the next thing that was approved as well, and the revenue expense report and final financial statement. Almost didn't get that out. Financial is a tough one to, you know.
Got more than 2 syllables.
It does. And so it was, actually received and filed. So they
right.
moved right along on it pretty good.
Okay.
Payment of bills. By the way, the bills were $56,000. Get this, $665.35.
And unlike several years ago, they got some left over.
They could have, but where is it? Nobody knows.
Well.
No, it's there. We do keep tabs on it pretty close for the Downtown Development Authority.
Right.
One time, there was a real issue, and where did the money go?
The cupboard was bare.
The cupboard was bare. Yeah, all the cupboards were bare.
No.
And to the bare, the spoils.
But we're coming out of that era now.
Yes, and actually solvent. And so they can do much more for the downtown than what they could before. And they're going to have to because, of course, the M24 reconstruction that they're going to be doing in the year 2020.
The MDOT Festival.
MDOT Festival, yes, that's what David calls it, the MDOT Festival. So if you want your jollies, just hold tight.
I
It'll
used
be
to
here.
be able to say it's going to be another 2 years, no matter what time anyone asked, but now it seems pretty definite.
Yeah, looks like they've stamped it. It's pretty much going to be.
Okay.
So, and we can discuss a little more about that as we go along. Unfinished business, excuse me, old business repairs to downtown lighting system invoice. Remember we talked about that before?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Was it?
the lighting system failed due to age of the system, I guess.
Are these incandescent lights?
Yeah, these are. But they've been converted to LEDs.
Okay.
But it's actually the main power supply that was supplying these street lamps, which are in the back of, I'm trying to think, Johnston Photography within that area, in that parking lot area.
Okay.
So the question came, is the power source responsibility for the village or responsibility for the DDA? Well, Glenn Pape looked into it and he discovered that actually the DDA paid for it originally, a good portion of it. So the thought here was, well, the village has responsibility for it as well as the DDA, so why not split the cost on it? Good idea. Cost together was around $5,000 or so. So, you know, they agreed to go ahead and do that.
So you got two budgets, all controlled by one.
Right. What would have been $5,971 placed in the DPW, which DPW really didn't have those kind of funds at this stage.
DPW or DDA?
No, DPW.
Okay.
Yeah, Department of Public Works.
All right.
Because they would normally take care of this in their budget, but they really didn't have the funding for this kind of emergency thing that popped up. So the DDA agreed.
That's why they always have that line in the budget called contingency.
Right. And as good neighbors,
We never expected it to happen.
hey, good neighbor, good neighbor said, let's go ahead and we'll expense $2,985.50.
Okay.
And Don Brantley was doing a little Snoopy dance, something along that line. But anyway, it was good. We covered it, and we need to share responsibility for that. M24 update. A lot of things going on with the M24 update. And I actually have another sheet on this that explains it.
And
And it's construction, of course, in 2020. There's a number of things that's going to be done in 2019. So don't be too surprised out there.
obstructive stuff?
Right. MDOT, Metro Region, is still reviewing pavement design for downtown because there's a choice. They can either go with a highly compacted asphalt for downtown, and if they compact it, this material takes a real stringent, hard banging, you know, to the pavement and to the
Are
street.
you saying prevents potholes?
Well, it prevents buildings from falling over.
Oh!
That would be the main concern, because you know they're going to tear it up all the way to the buildings.
To the building?
To the buildings.
Rip the
for new
sidewalks up too?
Everything is going.
Are the sidewalks going to be as wide as they are now?
They're going to be pretty darn close. Yep.
Maybe they're going to be shorter?
Some areas they'll be shorter, some areas they'll be a little larger, but
Okay.
they're working on the streetscape. They have a professional company, of course, that's working with that. And it looks like a lot of clarification is being done along those lines.
Yeah.
And talk about clarification, we'll talk more about that. when we
God
come
knows,
back.
they've been talking about it for a long time.
Yes.
There's a lot of history to Oxford. Hidden around every corner, deep in every crack, and sometimes right in front of you, waiting to be discovered. If you just dig a little, you'll find the great history of our beautiful town. Welcome to Historic Oxford.
Welcome back to Minutes by Minute. I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Dave Kenny.
And we have now tripped over to M24 and the DDA because that was a discussion
Right.
that we had. And we said that there's a choice between asphalt, the type that they're looking at is high viscosity, high density, and it takes a lot of pounding on the street, so which might impact some of these old buildings that we have with the mortar. You see what I'm saying?
So what's the good thing about this stuff?
Well, the good stuff is long lasting, which is a good thing, but you got to have buildings remain too, when they do this. So the other choice would be to use cement, concrete for that section, because it doesn't take quite a rigorous beating as you would have in compacting the
So it all ends up with
foundation.
how durable is the riding surface?
They're both pretty equal, actually. They actually have new concrete material which they use fiber in.
Okay.
So it's quite enduring, but obviously they can lay a lot more asphalt than they can concrete for the same amount of period of time. So MDOT is looking at that as to which route to go, and they really haven't made a decision at this point in the time that we're on air here. Maintaining traffic was another concern, and traffic will be routed down to Ray Road. Which one am I thinking of?
Down Glassby Street to Ray Road.
Yep, got it, thanks. Now, this guy comes in handy once in a while.
Well, actually, it's probably Drainer
It's Drainer.
to Glassby
Yes.
to Ray Road.
It is. And they have inspected Glassby, and they said in order to send the traffic, the big trucks down that way during this period, that they need to re-mill that road.
Oh.
And so that's going to be happening within the next 6 to 8 months, probably 9 months. So you folks over in Glassby will see some changes over there. It'll be a much nicer road by the time it's finished, but it is going to be a requirement to take
By the
care of
time
that.
it's finished, it'll be well used.
It will be well used. The other concern is utilities. And Main Street, of course, underground, there are some water pipes for drains and so forth.
You probably got water, you probably got electrical, you got sewer.
Yes. There's roughly 1,000 feet of water main that's below the street. And what kind of condition is it in? Well, they really can't tell until they tear up the street and look at it. It could be in any kind of condition, but I suspect they are going to yank all that out, redo it, put new in there, and reseed it. So that will be part of the process that they're going to be
How are they
doing.
going to maintain continuity with the businesses that are downtown when they're doing all of this?
Okay, main thing is communications, and of course they have a marketing group from the DDA, a committee put together, and these folks are to be working with the businesses downtown, which is a good thing, right?
Yep.
And,
Put a sign up there at Glassby and Burdick and say, "We're here."
Yeah, right. Well, this 1,000 feet of water main, it runs from Lincoln Street to Ensley Street. So, and MDOT, of course, is concerned about that part of it. They've done soundings in the ground to determine, the route in which it goes, and so they got a pretty good feel for it. But they need to really get down there and inspect it and see what it's really all about in order to proceed with it. But a lot of things happening, and they do have, I understand, $300,000 in the DDA fund for marketing, for signage, things like that. They need to direct traffic and get, all these people, to these businesses downtown. So even though there's been some panic out there, I don't think there's any more panic than what's gone on with the DDA, the people on the DDA.
Well, it's not
what
for
are we
the-
going to do? The sky is falling. No, it's going to be
I was going
fixed.
to do the chicken little bit. Go ahead.
You're going to do the chicken
You
little?
took it away.
Well, you're going to do the chicken dance if you want. People
No.
will watch. No? Okay.
That comes later.
Comes later? Okay, chicken. Okay, so let's then talk about the next thing was Pollyann Trail Management Council meeting that came up, and that was on, let me see, what date? Oh, the 20th, which was yesterday. Rather new information here. Serving on that board, Bruce Pearson, who was absent at the time, he's a supervisor of Addison Township. Eric Sent, who's also a trustee with Addison Township. Donnie Steele, who is the treasurer of Orion Township. It's kind of an interesting thing with Donnie Steele. We joke about it. Who elects person for treasury with her last name Steele. Anyway,
Takes
she's
an
got a great
act of-
sense of
takes
humor.
an act of faith.
It does, yeah. And she does a great job for Orion Township. So, and she's a great person. She believes in the Pollyant Trail, and she's very adamant about it. Also, they have from Orion Township Aaron Watley, and he is the executive director of Parks and Recreation over there. Elgin Nichols, that'd be me. I serve as secretary. Curtis Wright is the chairman. By the way, Donnie Steele, she's the treasurer, for this group. Mike McDonald, who was the chairman, is now the vice chair, and Joe Frost, who was also absent from this particular meeting as well. Linda Moran, who is the manager for Pollyant Trail, she was there, and Kevin Green, who is the citizen representative that represents you folks out there. And he rides the trails all the time and checks them out, make sure if there's any issues, he brings it forth, to the council. So with that, they went on with the Pledge of Allegiance. Actually, the prayer. I had to do the prayer. It was me. And then they did the pledge. Roll call was taken. Agenda was approved, and the consent agenda was the first thing that they were involved with, and approval of the January 16, 2019 meeting minutes. And the treasurer's report to approve $2,160.27. And it was approved. Receive and file financial reports for January 2019 was the next issue. And Orion and Oxford Chamber of Commerce membership renewals was a subject and agreed upon. So, flying through this one, aren't we?
Yeah.
Well, we got to, because it's
think
about
there's a
18
bend in
pages.
the road, isn't there?
There is. It's about 18 pages long, so it might take a while to get through this one. New business. But before that new business, they had trail manager's report. And there's a lot of things that trail manager had to say in her report. And she had on her agenda the number of birdhouses that they're building. Of course, the Boy Scout involved and is working towards his Eagle Scout position. He's building birdhouses, or will.
Anything specific, like wren or something like that? Or?
Pterodactyls, I think, pretty much. I'm not pretty good sized birdhouses.
Bat houses aren't bad either.
Yeah. Well, they're going to put. He's going to build some bat houses as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they can keep an eye on the birds. Good idea. Or the birds can keep an eye on the bat. Well, anyway, that's
Either
how it
one
works.
will eat mosquitoes.
Yeah, and she's a very busy young lady, Linda Moran. She picked up wood for the repairs on the Orion Township Bridge, which you'll understand that there was some vandalism that took place.
Okay.
So she is very active in getting those things corrected and fixed.
There's always a couple of ne'er-do-wells out there.
There are, and we can find out who they are. And by the way, they have cameras on the trail here. They're kind of sporadic, so you never know where they are. Behind every bear is a camera. Behind every porcupine could be a camera. I don't know, but they could be.
You got attacked by the bear, we've got a good
Yeah,
picture
right.
of
You
it.
never know. Okay. Also, there's a woman that contacted her has an interest to provide a park bench, along the trail, which is a pretty nice thing. I mean, they get a lot of volunteers that do this kind of thing. They volunteer money, and they provide also labor on the trail a lot of times.
Good.
And assist in certain activities that Linda needs to have done. Now, she just purchased a gator. You know what a gator is?
I would hesitate to say.
It's not the kind of gator you're thinking of. But we'll tell you more about this gator when we come back right after this, folks.
On Friday, it's Fish Day at the American Legion in Oxford. It runs from noon to 8, and we will have over 300 of our best friends enjoying our fish and our carryout. Sure, we have checked it out, and we have found that we have the best cod and walleye in Michigan. Want dessert? It's all homemade by our auxiliary ladies for just $1. For your vets, we have hats, just $5. On the bar side, here's some of our friends. Hi, everybody! On the museum side, some more friends. Hi again! Where you can check out one of the best military museums in the state. All Friday at the American Legion from noon to 8 at 130 East Drainer Road in Oxford.
Welcome back, Minutes by Minute. I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Dave Kennedy.
And we were just posing a question to David. Do you know what a gator is?
And I don't. I knew, but he's got the turn of
Different
events
kind
here.
of a gator, I think. It's kind of a four-wheeled unit, and it's a John Deere. And
Oh.
It's green. And she's really excited about it. It's a used gator and got a really good buy on it. And of course, the council approved it a while back.
It's appropriately colored.
Appropriate, yeah, she can hide behind the bushes.
Oh, no, it's
Never
green.
know she's there. It's green, yeah. It could be called the green machine, but instead it's called a gator.
I
And
see.
she's really proud of it. She's putting pinstripes on it, all kinds of.
Not going to put any teeth on it, are you?
I don't know what she's going to do. She could. She's a very interesting young lady.
Oh, okay.
So she could very well have teeth on it. Could have smoke coming out the stacks. I don't know. When she takes off, it could be making a roaring noise. I have no idea what it's going to do.
How old is this thing? It's not running on steam, is it?
No.
Okay.
It's a very good buy, and she purchased it from the Orion Township Parks and Recreation.
Oh, okay.
And they purchased a new one because at a certain date, they figure the use is complete. They don't want to have breakdowns, that kind of thing. But they do
saying it
maintain
was
their
out of
equipment.
warranty.
Yeah, but they do maintain their equipment very well over there.
Good.
So, as they do with the Parks and Recreation, in Oxford as well. Ron Davis and his crew. So they make that equipment last quite a while. And actually, they're looking for a storage, to build a storage unit as well down the line here. And you folks will hear more about that as we get involved in it. What else has she got? Oh, she's just really here, there, and everywhere. And she's also looking at, she's been talking to Larry Albright. And,
Albrecht.
yeah, Albrecht. And he has the distinction of having a bridge named after him.
Well, he was a
the-
prime mover of getting the Pollyant Trail built. He shucked the trees over at Chrysler, I think, and got some good funding.
He actually is very active with the grants program and very knowledgeable with what grants are out there. And so he's asked to be of that kind of help to Linda Moran. And Linda says, yes, please, yes, okay, I'm all for it. So
All right.
she did. So they approved Larry to work with her on this, and very happy to have Larry. Quite a gentleman, hardworking guy, and he's got the contacts out there, which I think we can all agree on. And then she received all kinds of email from, one of them was from DTE Energy on the gas line that they had to run under the trail over there. And everything went smooth, and Linda, of course, had to go over and check it out and make sure, even though they said, hey, run smooth. She said, oh yeah, let's check. So she went over there, and she walked the trail. She says, you can't even tell where they were. So
The whole
they did a
business with
great
the
job.
sinkhole, that's all taken care
That's
of
all
now?
taken care of. Well, there's still some loose ends there, but
Okay.
we're working with it. The DDA is. So, and actually, the township.
The
was
DDA?
Yeah, and the township was dealing with it as well.
The DDA.
Yeah, or DDA. Yeah, Pollyant Trail.
Okay.
DDA is not working with it. That's true. I stand corrected.
That's another thing over
That's why
here.
I keep this guy here. They keep me straight occasionally, once in a while. Get wandering off. Now, when he wanders off, I have to bring him back in line too.
That's true.
So that's the way it works. Good deal. But anyway, so Pollyant Trail, yeah, they still have some issues involved, and they'll get taken care of sooner or later. Excuse me, Oxford Township, of course, does too, as the county refused to pay a certain bill, and that's kind of talking between attorneys and so forth at this
Right.
point to see how that's going to be worked out. Whenever you get attorneys in, it could take a little while. That's the way it works.
Billable hours.
Yep. Now, Linda also, when she's checking out the trail, she finds not chipmunks, not squirrels, but trash. What's with you folks? You're throwing trash on the trail. You shouldn't be doing that. It's going to take people, like Linda and others that, volunteers to get out there and clean it up. And by the way, Addison Township has this issue. They're
We
beautiful-
find out who you are, we're going to tell your mom.
in Addison Township, beautiful area, and the housing starts even increased over last year. So a lot of people want to move out in that territory. But excuse me, but they need to understand that there are people that will sometimes, after dark, drop garbage, trash.
They literally go out and throw trash
Right.
as opposed to just throwing a candy wrapper that they've been eating?
That's right. But what they're going to do,
Oh,
they'll
wow.
put cameras out there, get license numbers, know where they're at, and they're going to take this trash, collect it, and put it on your yard, front yard.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. So anyway, you folks, be conscientious, to your neighbors. Don't mess up God's country. You know, it's a beautiful area. People love to move out there and live out there and have fun activities. It's hard when there's
But you're
trash
talking
around.
trash.
Talking
just-
trash.
Not just some little thing, but
Yeah, I'm talking trash right now. Okay. Even if you threw a candy wrapper out the window, shouldn't be doing
well,
that.
you shouldn't be doing that. But to take literal bags of trash and throw it on the trail, that's really out of the question.
And I noticed that you're very complacent in that, and the fact that
I am.
you are, that you have saved all the trash. It's all on the right side of the carpet. You don't throw anything away. And I think you got a paper, what do they call it? They pay you for the paper that you wind up?
What are you talking about?
Well, I don't know. I got off the sidetrack. Did you see that?
Get back on track.
I will. Okay, I'm back on the track. All right, so her report was pretty extensive, and she needs to have some equipment though, and she asked for a request on that, and the request for the information or for the equipment was in the amount of $1,379, and the equipment consists of.
A gator?
No, she has a grader.
Oh, okay.
No gasoline either. She has a gasoline for it. She's looking at a budget of $2,161, and for fencing. Oops, that's not it. That's a different one. And let me tell you what that one is. That's a donation that was given to the Pollyant Trail, and it was given to them by for the Clarkson Road parking lot phase, and it was donated in excess between $8,000 and $10,000.
Clarkston Road?
Yeah, it was donated by Snyder Electric, and General Motors is also going to cut a check soon.
Okay.
That's going to assist, you know, in getting some repairs. So that's a good thing, right?
I guess.
The other thing I want to
Clarkston
talk
Road,
about
okay.
is the website, which has been hacked. It's down. It's not functioning. It's, you know, it just really is useless the way it is. Lois Golden is the web keeper, webmaster, and she said that for $420 she can, you know, get it all straightened up and running. Right now they can't do anything
But
because they're
someone
blocked.
actually hacked it?
Somebody hacked it, and
That's too bad.
because they're tied into because she's tied into the DNR and other government agencies, they blocked her now.
to keep whatever
Yeah.
virus or whatever she's got from getting up to
Right.
theirs.
So there's quite a discussion over that, and it was approved to go forward with it, and she said that she'll have it up and running next week.
Must have a better antivirus or security piece of software added
Well,
on.
they got to be really careful in the antivirus program that they get, as you well know. Not all of them work.
Well, don't get a fly-by-night.
How do you define a fly-by-night? Oh, we don't want to get there. Okay, what's coming up, buddy?
We only got a couple of meetings on 3-4 at the Village of Oxford Zoning Board of Appeals. The ZBA will be meeting, but check on that one because sometimes they don't. And on 3-4, the Village of Oxford Planning Commission will also be meeting.
You will. That's
Yep.
good. I like the planning commission.
Well, it's
There's a lot
actually
of-
3-3 for the ZBA and 3-4 for the Planning Commission.
Okay, I really like the planning commission, and the activities that they have. You folks can tune into any of these meetings, that, you know, in their entirety by going to occtv.org and clicking on.
Programs,
Yep.
but not this week.
Right. Why is that?
We're still in the middle of our transition from our old location at 1775 North Lapeer Road in Oxford to 2795 Suite A,
We
our
are.
new studio.
And this is Minute by Minute. I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Dave Kenny.
Catch you next time right here.
Hi, I'm Debbie Wren from Daybreak.
And I'm Terry Stiles from Daybreak.
Yes, you can see us every day, Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. We are here to talk about what's going on in our community, what our businesses are doing, what our businesses have to offer. We have lots of information to provide you.
So don't miss us Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. See you there.
serving the nation's poor and vulnerable regardless of faith, and advocating on their behalf, we are Catholic Charities.